Good morning, everybody. Happy July 3rd, 4th of July Eve. Also, dating anniversary of Casey and I, 7 years. Fun fact. Today, we're doing a day in the life, day off from work edition. So the company I work for full-time observes the holiday today, so I don't have work. I do have one private client for indoor physical therapy this late afternoon, 4:30, which is mildly inconvenient, but is what it is. Better than not having anybody. So I'm going to bring you guys along for what a day off looks like. A little bit of a late start to the morning. I've already been up for a couple of hours now. So you guys missed out on breakfast, morning coffee, the big three.
What's so magical about having things like LeBron and Tom Brady? Really
the big four at this point. So just as a review, that is Duolingo. 1 or 2 lessons of that, followed by, well, I guess in no particular order, the daily passage from the Daily Stoic, and then reading for about a half an hour minimum. And then new edition is the 5-minute journal. So I did the AM portion, I'll do the PM version later tonight, obviously. And that's the ideal morning routine. For breakfast, I had a slice of Casey sourdough with a little bit of butter on it, and then I fried up 2 eggs, and then we had some leftover like breakfast sausage and a ribeye patty from prior meal. So I heated those up in the pan with the eggs as well. I am heading down to the farm now with Waylon to do the morning feeding. So I gotta feed the horses, feed the chickens. I have some frozen treats here for the chickens. 1 tray for the adult hens and 1 tray for the chicks, who are no longer chicks, but young adolescent hens with a couple of questionable roosters. After I'm done feeding, I'm going to walk down to the gym, film some content, the Friday Fitness Challenge. I think I'm going to do the old man challenge today, which is standing on one leg, put the sock, put the shoe on, stand on the other leg, put that sock and shoe on without toppling over. Easy one, because it's so hot. And then I'm gonna lift. I'm gonna get a little bit of a sweat on, some strength endurance type stuff. Gaining interest in high rocks. Might be doing one. Nothing's available for this year within easy access, but eyeing one for next year, actually. Potentially doubles, maybe singles, maybe both. We will see. Stay tuned. But I would probably do a doubles with Kunos, who has done a few of these at this point. So that would be fun. I like the training style. And it would be a nice change of pace from what I've been training for the past several years. It would still allow me to run, which I do love and enjoy, and Waylon needs. But it would allow me to more, I think, efficiently fit in strength training. So I guess more on that later in future episodes. I have some Endure PT business paperwork to...
Caution, unpaved road.
Never gets old. To review, to go over this week's KPIs, as well as the month of June, the monthly KPIs to review and go over and tally up, and so I'll do that with you guys. Good news, positive news. I have my first client from Elite Progression who scanned my QR code to register as a new client, new patient. And she is scheduled for an initial evaluation, taking advantage of the reduced initial consult rate. So she's scheduled for Monday at 5, so that's exciting. Hope for many, many more. That's the rundown. So I'm pulling into the farm now. I'll bring you guys along for the feeding. And then, hey, tag you guys along for content filming and the workout. So how about that? Feeding will be easy today. It's just the chickens. Horses are out, grazing on some grass. Hopefully staying cool. All right, let's go. Okay, well, feeding was so quick, I didn't film any of it, so that kind of defeated the purpose of that. But let the chickens out, gave them their frozen treat. I'm just finishing up my creatine pre-workout, stim-free pre-workout, more of a vasodilator, and collagen peptides. I'm gonna walk to the gym, the barn gym. That'll be 20 minutes, and then film some content, get a lift in. I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet. I might look something up, or I might just make a little circuit. And we'll get going on the rest of the day. I'll see you guys down there. Today we're gonna do the old man test. Now what that entails is, while standing on one leg, you're going to put one sock on, the corresponding shoe, tie the shoe, switch legs, and do the same for the opposite, all without. Okay, filmed some content, got a little warm up in, a little sweat on, and now diving into a workout, quick little triplet. So I'm gonna do 5 rounds for time, 500-meter row, 10 overhead walking lunges with a 45-pound plate, 10 on each side, so 10 down, 10 back, I guess, and then 10 push-ups. So just a little total body burnout, get a sweat on, get the heart rate up a little bit. We'll scrap push-ups. Let's do burpees instead, since that's going to be a movement in high rock, so might as well practice those. So let's do all that, 10 burpees instead of 10 push-ups. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'll time-lapse the workout, I think, on here, so you guys can watch that. It's hot in here. This is gonna suck. This is gonna be a sweat fest. So let's do it. Friday Fitness Challenge filmed and posted. Strength slash Metcon slash High Rocks workout done. Died a little bit, but that's okay. And walking back to the car now. And I know what you're thinking. Brandon, how do I acquire such a cool look with this outfit you got on? What's it about? How do I get one? Well, let me tell you, the damn flies, not even in the woods, but we're in the woods now, even outside of the woods, are vicious, and they just swarm you and dive bomb you incessantly. So, fortunately, I packed 2 shirts, one of which is now acting as a little protective barrier around my head and ears so that I don't have to hear or feel the flies accosting me. Pro tip, you're welcome. Can't remember if I mentioned this before, but the clip I filmed for Friday Fitness Challenge was the old man test. Basically, stand on one leg, you put a sock on, put the same shoe on, you tie the shoe, and then you do the same thing for the other leg. Very impressed that I did it in one take. Haven't always had the best balance, especially all of my ankle sprains that impacts both the stability and position sense, proprioception of the ankle, so you sort of lose yourself in space. But that has improved over time through, well, admittedly less than diligent work, but I spend a lot of time either barefoot or in minimalist shoe wear, so my body's able to get a lot of feedback from the ground, and that has helped. The workout admittedly beat the snot out of me. Just a different training stimulus and like energy pathway than I typically train. Now granted, I do a weekly like VO2 max domain workout. Tuesday mornings is typically when I'll do that, when it's a little bit cooler and I'm freshest. But that's 6x4 rounds, 6x4 minute rounds with a minute of slow walking recovery, and it's just purely running, which is obviously my domain of strength. This was 5 rounds for time, no real rest, of 500-meter row, 10 burpees, and 10 per leg overhead walking lunges with a 45-pound plate. So just a little bit, well, a lot of it more total body conditioning and sort of sustained, moderately high effort output. Plus the heat. It is hot. It was hot in the gym. It's hot now. It was hot yesterday. It was hot the day before. I know, despite my best efforts, that I'm not as hydrated as I probably should be. I did not sleep well last night. I did not sleep well the night before, in part because it's been so warm and because my body is still a little overheated, or at least it feels that way. And and because of the extreme heat, we haven't had the AC pumping as hard, so the house is a little bit warmer. So I am heading back home now to hydrate, eat something. I'll probably have some of the swordfish steak from last night. I might cook up a little bit of rice. I got some dishes to clean up. And then I'm probably gonna go out and run some errands. I gotta drop off our cable box to Verizon store or the UPS store. I got to double check on that because I have to also drop something off at the UPS store. So if I can kill two birds with one stone, that'd be great. I'm gonna reach out to Casey, see if she wants lunch, whether that be going out, bringing food to her, simply just dropping stuff off for her and Cody. I don't know, but I'll reach out to her when I'm home. And then probably time that around doing some errands. I would like to get on the bike as my next bout of exercise. Again, just some lower intensity kind of zone 2 aerobic work, building that base out. The plan was to run during the day, but I think I might push that for this evening after my client, who I still don't know if I am working with tonight. She messaged me yesterday asking about there being air conditioning at the gym. I don't think that there is. She says she doesn't tolerate no AC well, so that might get punted to next week, which is okay. From a business end, like, that just postpones me fulfilling on something that's already paid. She has one more installment left, and I don't like asking for those outside of like when I'm physically like talking to / working with them. So I just like having that in-person conversation. So a bit of a bummer on a business standpoint at that point. On that end, talking's hard. I'm a little gassed. A little fried. But then on a clinical standpoint, like, she could probably use a session, so it is going to be a bummer if she ends up canceling in that regard. I think, yeah, the battery is going to die soon, so we'll call it there. I'm going to finish up this walk. It is roasty out. Direct sunlight. Waylon's pumped. This dog loves the heat. But he also just loves being with his people and being outside and doing things. So he's excited. He's happy, which makes me happy. So let me finish this walk. I'll catch up with you guys back at the house when I throw fresh batteries in here. See you then. Okay. So I got some rice cooking in the rice cooker, 1/2 cup dry. I just washed a whole mess of dishes. They're drying. I got a couple more here, but I figured I'd catch up on some filming, some content. I'm brewing up a little bit of coffee for a little bit of a pick-me-up here. Boom. Brand new Chemex. I've got swordfish steaks from yesterday. Mediterranean herb seasoned. Boom. I'll probably have both of those because Casey does not like swordfish, which is new. Well, it's new knowledge for me. I did not know that. I felt bad. She did not end up eating a protein last night for dinner. So that's on me. And then while I'm eating that, I'll probably I will work on the weekly and monthly KPIs for indoor PT. My 4:30 patient canceled rescheduled to next week, back to her normal Wednesday schedule because of the heat. She doesn't tolerate heat well. We mostly do kind of body work, but she just wanted to be conservative and cautious, so we pushed that. So that frees up the afternoon. Gives me time to eat this, digest it, do some work. I might do a little bit of reading, a little midday reading. And then I might actually run out, do some errands, come back, and get on the bike. I think that's going to be the plan, because I'd like to get those errands done. Like I said, I got to drop off our cable box and coffee pods from the Nespresso to get shipped back. And that'll just clear up a little bit of clutter in the entryway as well as my car. So I think that's a plan. So let me get the rest of these dishes cleaned up. Let me put the dishes from the dishwasher away. And then I'll catch up with you guys as I'm doing some office work. All right, so like I said, I've got a half cup uncooked. Well, it's cooked now, but it was a half cup uncooked white rice, jasmine rice. One of the swordfish steaks. I brewed up, I don't know, maybe 12 ounces of coffee, poured over ice, and then to cool it off, and then blended it up with a whole bunch of ice with a little bit of the Rise Superfood creamer to make this sort of like cold brew-ish refresher, and half a scoop of whey protein. And then I've got a Waylon who's melting down right now and wants to go outside. So let me grab his collar. Dogs don't care about your schedule. Pets, they don't care about your schedule, what you got planned, any intentions. Here I am sitting down to have a meal, vlog a little bit, do a little business, paperwork stuff, and he's just barking, angry, wants to go outside and roast. Go on, buddy. This is what he does. He's going out there and he's gonna go lay in the sun and just lay there and fry. He is insane. Leave it to a dog breed from Australia, born in Texas, and wound up in Putnam County, Hudson Valley, New York. Nope, that's not the password. That's embarrassing. All right. So looking over KPIs for the week. Let me pull it up. What's this week? So 629. Boom. Week 16 of me tracking. It's obviously far greater than that on the year. Brought in $0. Had 0 visits, 0 calls, 0 eval, 0 packages sold, which means 0 8-packs or 12-packs. 0. Okay. So, like I said, the 29th, week 16 that I've been tracking, 0s across the board of 10 available slots. Big week for you boy. Monthly metrics. The month of June brought in $0. Not great. 18% slot utilization, which has been going down. Now, that is in part from limited limited networking events, so haven't really hosted many events. But there was also the transition process to my new home, my new gym. In Mahopac, which I'm excited about. Already pulled one client, one eval at least for that, so that's exciting. So I get to add one for next week's KPIs. Plan to sell a package. Sounds like it will be a package. I mean, she contacted me saying that she needs help. So hopefully she heeds my advice. We'll see what happens during the evaluation. We'll see what I find. So I think earlier me, younger, less experienced me would have been maybe panicked. And there's a part of me that is a bit panicked for not having had any income in June. But July, now that I'm moving a day away from my full-time job and focusing it on my business, my practice, like I've said many times already, that is going to allow me to put forth much more time, resources, energy, and effort towards building out the practice, hosting more consistent events, especially now that I have a home and I know that I have this home that I can develop this community around and I can treat the way that I want and need to. So I feel much more confident over these next 2 months for those numbers to grow, to meet more of the community at Elite Progression, to draw members from outside of that gym to within the community, and really build up this practice. See what I mean? He doesn't care. He's done. He's roasted. He's had enough. It's hot out there, buddy. But that takes care of business paperwork. So I'm gonna eat lunch finally, and then I'm going to shower, change, head out, run some errands, dropping those 2 things off, come back here, hop on the bike for at least an hour. I don't know how much longer than that I will go, but at least an hour. So I'll catch up with you guys after. All right, ran my errands, dropped off, conveniently enough, at the same spot, a UPS store, our old Verizon Fios cable box, and my recycle bag of Nespresso pods. Both ship for free, both easy, scan, in and out, I'm done. Decided I would stop off at Stop and Shop while I was out here. It's like literally a stone's throw from the UPS store to grab just a couple odds and ends. There's the haul. Got a couple things of fruit. I got some milk for me, some oat milk for Casey, a couple things of ground turkey, some little, the little like multicolored potatoes, the little ones, some yogurt. I think that's it. So now I'm heading home, put the groceries away, and then changing, getting nutrition ready, and hopping on the bike for a minimum of 1 hour. We're gonna set up the new workout station in the garage, so I will show you guys that when I get home. A little over 7 minutes in on a nice little cruise through Zwiftopia. One of the courses that's apparently leaving soon. Not all that well versed in Zwift. I've ridden with the indoor trainer maybe a dozen times. Mostly got it to supplement and replace run training last year when I was dealing with my right hip low back thing. And so use this very sparingly. In fact, my Zwift membership is due to expire soon. I don't think it will auto renew because this was linked with my old HSA card. So I think that the membership will be canceled automatically because of insufficient funds, which is fine. I don't need Zwift. I don't know if I will get enough riding value to warrant the $200 for the year. Granted, it's only $200. It's a few bucks a month. It's less than 20 a month. I don't know, we'll see. When it does kick out, I'll see what the Wahoo Kicker app has as far as like access and training and things like that. I don't necessarily need the gamification that Zwift offers. I can always just throw on like a movie or something like that. That's what I used to use when I was in college, and I would ride for hours and hours on end. So I'd be fine with that if the membership doesn't auto renew. But I don't mind the garage setup. The garage definitely needs to be cleaned up more. But now that the couch is out of this space and we got rid of it, I have space to set this up, because Casey hated me riding down there anyways, because obviously I'm a sweater. So she didn't like the smell. Can't blame her. I think she'll be a little bit more content with it in here, at least temporarily. But let me get back to this ride. I'll catch up with you guys periodically throughout. Later. 30 minutes in, well, 33 minutes in. I just finished a huge climb, and the descent down, relatively huge climb, up some volcano thing. I might change my mind on this Zwift thing. If I'm gonna do this consistently, in addition to my running volume, to build a bigger aerobic base, this is kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. We'll see. But minimum 26.5 minutes left. Feeling good. 90 grams of carbs down. I got another 30 grams and 700 milligrams of sodium in this one. So that'll be 120 grams of carbs in an hour with 1,700 milligrams of sodium. Plus this one is just water. Because the air's not moving, I feel like I'm sweating way more doing this than on a run. I'd be really curious on a sweat test. I really got to order one of those. But let me get going and I'll check back with you guys after. Check back with you guys after. Whew, words are hard. Okay, ride done. Let's see. 65 minutes, 19.1 miles, 613 calories, 1,100 feet of climbing. Those are my power numbers. Hit a best for 5-second power output of 608 watts. All right, let's end ride. There we go. 141 experience points until next level. All right. That was hard. Whew. Good ride. It is so hot. Sorry, I'm a little delirious. These riding, I think, is going to be a huge asset for me from an aerobic based standpoint, from a muscular endurance standpoint. A little bit of like strength endurance for the quads and glutes to help with some hiking and later mile stuff. I will be incorporating more of this. And the good news is I can do this at any point during the day or night. So I'm gonna go shower and then we are heading back down to the farm for a walk and dinner. I gotta feed the animals, all that jazz. So I will catch up with you guys after. Whew, good ride. Good morning. It is Saturday morning, July 4th. Happy birthday, America. The big 250. 6:11. Did not sleep well. Last night after getting off the bike, hopped in the shower and then we went down to the farm for dinner at Carly and Dan's. Burgers and dogs, that sort of thing. And we hung around and played some cards for a little bit until about 9 or so. Watched some crazy heat lightning, and then we headed back home. And pretty much went right to bed. Like I said, did not sleep well. Very overheated. So we'll see how this run goes today. I've got 10 to 16, I think, on the training calendar. I would like 12. Well, I would like more than that, but I don't know if I have time for more than that. I don't know if my body can do more than that right now. So I am working on coffee, and then I've got normal Spanish reading. I might not read right now just because I'm kind of pressed for time. I might push that for later, but we'll see. Try to log some miles before it gets too hot. Alright, well, it's a day in the life plus. But I am going to end the video on this. Waylon and I are heading down to the farm. We're going to log 3 course loops. So call that just under 13 miles. And then we got to head back home. I got to shower. Probably eat more. Because we are going to a family reunion, 4th of July party. So, trying to get these miles in before it gets too hot. Easier said than done, I suppose. But thank you guys for watching. That was a day in the life of a PT business entrepreneur slash ultra endurance slash hybrid athlete. With a day off of work, although still did some work. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like that. Excited to bring you guys along for the journey, growing my business, training, living life, all the fun things. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.